following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And it's a Wednesday here at the Star in Frisco inside the SWBC Mortgage Studios. And yes, the Cowboys are headed out on the practice field as we speak. Bill Jones, Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips, and Everson Walls once again today as we get you set for the Patriots. Patriots Week is officially underway now. Jason Garrett just completed his press conference. Mickey scribbling down notes as we speak as he just walked into the studios after the Jason Garrett walk-off. How are you, Mickey?
I interrupted the walk-off. I left. It's still going.
All these years, I can read his chicken scratch across the table.
So what's he writing there?
He's writing about a roster move that they made just now. Right? Am I right?
So we got some breaking news. Mickey, first off, before you get into that.
Don't steal his thunder.
Are you a waiter somewhere? What's the deal?
Yeah,
what's
absolutely.
this best deal?
I'm not a waiter.
Okay, what are you?
I'm the dude at the
maitre d'.
door. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's the dude at the door.
The dude at the door.
That's what his
How's
card
that?
says.
All right.
His card says dude at the door.
I'm a greeter. You know, people get paid for that.
Is this
by the
similar
way.
to the overalls that you used to wear in college at Missouri? You were telling me yesterday about overalls,
would
right?
you tell him people wore
Everson-
overalls back then?
Was that a thing?
I actually had a pair of
Thank
overalls
you.
back in the day.
See
I'm
there?
ashamed to say.
Wise guy.
I tried to make it work, but I realized that's a white thing. No, I can't. No way.
I can't picture Everson in
No,
overalls.
I don't. Please don't. Yeah, I destroyed all pictures.
But Mickey said back in the 70s he wore overalls.
I did.
Right?
we gotta have a photo, man.
Not ashamed of it. Everybody was wearing them.
Yeah, not everybody, Nick.
No, not everybody.
I'm sorry.
And I
grew
tried
up-
to explain to them what painter pants was. They didn't understand that either.
I don't know that either.
Okay.
That's a Midwestern thing, or what's
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, you ready for the roster move now?
What roster move?
Roster move.
Yeah. Who's Deontay Burton? You heard of him before?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr.
Tell me more about him.
Mr. Big 12,
Really?
Yeah.
Big 12 guy, Deontay Burton.
K-State.
Oh, from that Big 12 North. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that's foreign
doesn't
country.
count.
I figured
Yeah,
you had it on
that's
one of
foreign
your
country.
note
He
sheets.
sounds like
there.
a DB.
Yeah, a cornerback. Yes.
Yeah, see?
Deontay Burton.
Yep.
Because Anthony Brown is out.
Yes. He's done for the season with a torn tricep that was repaired yesterday.
So there you go. There's your roster move.
He was really kind of already being replaced by Jordan.
Yeah.
He had been battling some injuries here lately.
Yeah.
He got
Jordan.
replaced when he sprained his strained his hamstring, and he missed the game. And then Jordan started the next two. But this last game, he actually took some snaps on the nickel in place of Jordan Lewis. So they were kind of easing him back in until that happened in the, I believe it was the fourth quarter.
It
Yeah.
was in the fourth quarter when they had the rash of injuries on consecutive plays. They were falling like flies.
They did split in the nickel last week, but Everson's right. I mean, I think he'd earned more snaps Jordan had before this injury for Brown. So, I mean, every time he's in the game, it seems like, I don't know if that's what you see too. It seems like he makes plays and he's around the football.
They talked about the Jets game. They say even that interception, they said he was beat, if I'm not mistaken. But
Came back.
still had the ability to just turn around and look for the ball.
Yep.
And you'd just be surprised at how many would just fall right in your lap. Just ask Heath. They had his hit in the back of his head. So,
Or Larry
the ball hits in
Brown.
the back of the head.
Yep.
That's wow.
It was a pass breakup, but it'd be nice to be a pick instead.
That's a positive
Yeah.
pass breakup. The negative is he had a pick six.
Yep.
But Anthony Brown, and in fact, I've got the snap counts here from the last several weeks. Anthony Brown had 12 snaps against Detroit, while Jordan Lewis had 31 snaps. The previous week against Minnesota, Jordan had 20 snaps. Brown had 5.
Just in
had
the
one,
dime.
and in the Giants game, it was 51 snaps for Jordan Lewis, 5 for Brown, and back in the Jets game, 19 snaps for Brown.
That's a pattern.
Yep,
That's definitely a pattern.
and then had 37 for Jordan Lewis. So
Which game did he miss?
Would have been the Philly game, the Eagles game. So, all right. So there's your breaking news.
Those games, yeah.
So he was battling an injury, but Jordan Lewis has earned the playing time
he
too.
Has.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. He's more of a playmaker, and we just need more of those. It's a shame that Heath was leading interceptor the last couple of years with maybe 4.
Or 2 or 3?
Well, 4. I'm talking a couple of years.
Yeah, total.
Couple of years. You're right. 4 total.
What Everson would get in a month.
So what we're trying to say is, we need turnover-minded defensive backs.
Well, there's a reason that Jordan Lewis was a third-round draft pick.
He's fast. I really like his athletic ability. I didn't know he was so short. I just didn't realize that because he plays big.
Which may have been a reason he was a third-round draft pick, not a second-round draft pick.
He plays big.
No, he was a third-round draft pick because remember he had
off-the-field deal.
Yes.
Yep, that got resolved.
But not until after the draft.
Right.
But you're right, and we've talked about it. Chris Richard likes those rangy type DBs, but there comes a point in time where you can't keep a guy off the field if he's going to make plays every time he's out there. And he does play big, and he plays with some competitiveness that I think they really like.
Plays with an edge.
He does play with an edge.
Well, we'll see how he does against some guy named Edelman this week.
Interesting. You got to give him help. You got to give him help. That's just all it is to it. Edelman is a favorite target. Let's not be naive. And it's just like when Vikings came into Cowboys Stadium, their whole mindset was, Elliott's not going to beat us. We're going to make Dak beat us. Elliott is not going to beat us. And I'm just wondering why we didn't have that same mindset. Because they talked about how these teams were mirror images. And Kirk Cousins, I still think Dak is much better than Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins is having a great second half of the year so far. And let's make him beat us. Let's not let Cook run all over the place. Let's just stack the line, just like they did.
Right.
If you don't physically stack it pre-snap, then we know by the time that ball is snapped, everyone is looking at number 21 or, in Cowboys' case, number 33.
So looking at the Patriots, then what do you got to take away?
You got to take away Edelman. You just have to. And in certain situations, we know he's going to be the primary on third downs. We just know that.
We watched a little bit of the game on the flight back. We were working, but he didn't throw the ball to anybody else but it seemed like the running backs.
Been that way for several weeks
Edelman.
now.
Well,
Go ahead.
No, Rob, go ahead.
Well, it's always been kind of part of their game. The screen game with the backs. They use Edelman in screens. They try to move him around, move him everywhere, but he is the guy. I mean, especially because they've had so much turnover at their wide receiver position. I mean, they traded for Sanu last month.
That's Brady's guy. That's his comfort zone, and I would imagine they're going to the backs a lot because, as I was going to say, everyone's doubling Edelman, and so Brady's no fool. This is my counter, so I'm going to go to the backs. I don't know much about their tight end. I don't know if he's
they're still using Watson, right?
Well, he was gone for
he
several
came
weeks
back.
and then came back.
He came back. Did pretty well. I think that was a couple of weeks ago. He had a pretty good game. Yeah.
But the other wide receivers were kind of non-entities in the game against the Eagles.
Let's just face it. Brady is not where he was. He's not that guy that we feared. We know that he can be that guy. We don't want to wake him up at this point. That's why the defense is so prevalent for them.
Right.
He's living off of them, big time. Ever since the Super Bowl, Brady just hadn't been the guy putting up the big numbers. Now, he's made key plays like Aaron Rodgers. You can be still that guy in certain situations, but you have to be in position to make that final push. That means your defense has to help you out. That means your running game has to be strong. That means your kicking game has to be sure. These are the things that make up a good team. That's what I'm hoping the Cowboys are trying to get there.
Okay, I've been monitoring the Patriots all season. Okay, got my little notebook here. It's a big notebook. Okay, guess how many wide receivers that they have had on their roster since training camp? Since training camp began. I mean, these are guys. I'm not the undrafted guys. I'm talking guys that have previous experience in the NFL. I mean, these are legitimate guys that
since training camp
that are 53-man roster type
since
guys.
Training camp.
Okay.
Since training camp?
Yeah.
15?
They got
Did you look at my
I
notebook?
did not look at your numbers.
He nailed it, man.
Yeah,
15. All right. Edelman, Demaryius Thomas, Mohamed Sanu, Philip Dorsett, Maurice Harris, Antonio Brown. I'm including Matthew Slater in that, although he's not really. He's a special teams guy. Braxton Berrios, Jacoby Myers, Josh Gordon, N'Keal Harry, who they just got back off injured reserve, Dontrell Inman, Gunnar Olszewski, who they just put on IR, Cameron Meredith. There's 15 guys there. Now, how many tight ends as they try to figure out a way to replace Gronk in this offense?
All right, you guys take that one.
How many tight ends do you think?
You
I'll
got-
go
I'm going to recount.
6.
4.
I was going to say 8.
Might be.
All I know, 10.
10 tight ends.
All I know is they've got 17 guys that have caught passes.
I wish I'd had that stat because I wrote about it yesterday. I mentioned that, but that's okay. So that's
10 tight ends.
25 different guys, receivers and tight ends.
Ben Watson was on their roster. I think he started the season on PUP. Let me see. I check my notes here. And then he was released October 7th, and then he comes back, had an emotional release. Okay, he thought he was done with football. And, well, Belichick brings him back two weeks later, and now he's just basically their top tight end. I mean, they're going through these tight ends
and that is the greatness of Brady in a way, in that they've cycled through guys throughout the last 20 years.
He's frustrated right now.
Well, he is, and part of it is the turnover they've had for sure. And like Everson said, his numbers are down. Man, the media is just kind of burying him a little bit this week.
Yeah, they're already burying him.
That's because he was after the game. He gave
ceremonies already being prepared.
He gave very short answers in his post game after the game, which was a win in Philadelphia. But the offense isn't doing what normally it does, and he's very frustrated. You can tell.
That's a red flag.
When you start looking at those receivers that he has now, you look at Sanu, you look at Dorsett. Those are formidable guys.
I like this. N'Keal Harry. Their rookie first-round pick.
He'd been hurt, right?
Yeah, he'd been hurt.
Just got back.
He just got back. In fact, this past week he was back for the first time this season. So,
well, having said all that, the two teams have scored the exact same amount of touchdowns. Although they have
Bears
6
are
returns for touchdowns. 6 of their 34 are returns.
Are those all defensive returns, fumble returns, pick sixes, or are there some kick returns in there?
I think 4 defensive touchdowns, right?
Okay.
So maybe a couple kick returns. They're right at the top of the league in that. Yeah, they're one tick above the Cowboys in points per game, but we talked about it last week, and Everson just spoke to it. They're starting drives really deep in opposing territory. He's getting all the help he needs, and I think that's part of why he's frustrated is they're still not producing a lot of points.
That's a big thing. And as you can imagine, with 28 takeaways, their starting field position is number one in the league.
Great. Yeah, it has to be
number
great.
one in the league, and the Cowboys is down in the bottom of the barrel.
Well, it helps Dak pile up some numbers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He and Zeke just like, okay,
that's why the Cowboys lead the league in total yards because they got farther to go. There's more real estate to cover for the Cowboys.
The only number you need to know with them is they're giving up 10.8 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
stop it right there.
But there's a lot of people listening right now who are saying, Mickey, stop it right there. Look at who they played.
Interesting.
I guess the Eagles in Baltimore don't count. They gave up a bunch.
They gave up to 37 to Baltimore.
Yeah, they do.
They kind of ruined their average. They would have been single digit.
That's right. That's interesting. Everyone talked about the Cowboys early on, and they really harped on it, especially when we showed, the proof was in the pudding. We showed that when we played against better teams, we didn't produce as well, and we obviously lost to the Jets. So everyone put their hat on that as far as the Cowboys. Nobody talked about just how New England's schedule was just as weak. I guess the AFC East is just as bad as the NFC East.
I don't know what's Pittsburgh's record.
Well,
it's a losing record, right?
It's losing.
They're right around 500 now.
500 now?
Yeah. But,
so if you want to know, they beat Miami, the Jets, Buffalo, Washington Giants, the Jets, Cleveland, and then they lost to Baltimore and beat Philadelphia.
Pittsburgh is 5-5, by the way.
500. Okay. Well, they get the benefit of the doubt because they're the Patriots. But when you look at the schedule, it's the same type thing, right? I mean, they haven't played a ton of really good teams. Really, not many at all. So Philly's a good team.
My theory about the AFC East holds still.
It does.
And the good teams they played.
Rob doesn't like it.
Don't start with me on that.
Why not?
He kind of minimizes their titles a little bit.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I just said they get 6-0 usually.
Maybe because they've got the GOAT and the GOAT. They got the guy in the sideline, and they got the guy at quarterback.
Which is why the rest of the AFC East is so bad. They got to play New England twice every year.
Yeah, that's 2 losses right there.
And I think we're all a little hesitant in just really, playing the horn on these guys. You know how you play them on into the grave. We're a little hesitant because of the GOAT and the GOAT.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always thinking we don't want to be the ones to wake them up. We don't want to be the ones to where, okay, this is the game where they hit their stride. We don't want to say that they marked the Cowboys on the calendar and said, okay, this is where we started to march to the Super Bowl. We don't want to be that team.
Yep.
All right, so I'm looking at the teams they've played, and right now, if you look at the records of those teams they've played right now, there are 2 that have winning records, I believe. Buffalo, and they won that game 16-10.
And
Baltimore, and they lost that game, what was it, 37-20.
Was Buffalo at home or on the road?
Buffalo is at Buffalo.
They beat them on the road.
Yeah, and they've got 2 5-5 teams. In the season opener against Pittsburgh, they won 33-3, and then last week against the Eagles, who are now 5-5, they won 17-10. So there you go.
Well, see, the NFC, right? I'm sorry, the NFL right now, you just might as well call it parity. You just might as well. You can't, even the teams that win, maybe on a consistent basis, there are still some very dicey games within that streak to where you go, man, that could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. So to me,
Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit, they've played 10 games now, and 9 of them have been decided by a touchdown or less.
Wow.
Well, during the game, the Lions game on Sunday, on Twitter, everybody's freaking out because the Vikings are getting blown out by Denver, who's not a good team at all. They come back and win, but you're right. I tweeted that. That's this league. I mean, I don't know if there's a great team this year. The Patriots have a great defense. The margin between good and average is a couple plays a game sometimes.
That is scary.
Average and bad. And that's why I think maybe we overreact a little bit too much when they lose to a team like the Vikings, although there are things they could have done better, coaching-wise, execution-wise, all those things.
How about losing to the Jets, and then the next week New England beats them 33-0?
Yeah, that's because Belichick was like, "This is not happening tonight." Thank you, Cowboys, for allowing me to be very focused on this next team coming out there.
And they had some ghosts in the secondary too.
Yeah.
So, all right, we talk about ghosts. We talk about much more with the New England Patriots this week when Talkin Cowboys continues in a moment.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheered.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score September 2019.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Talking Cowboys continues here. Christmas at the Star starts on Friday as the Cowboys host the third annual event presented by Albertsons and Tom Thumb from Friday through December 21st, taking place at the Star in Frisco. Enjoy free, family-friendly events throughout the holiday season, including the Christmas Spectacular presented by Albertsons and Tom Thumb, and the opportunity to take a photo with Santa Claus and Mickey Spagnola. For more information, visit thestarinfrisco.com.
Thank you.
Mickey, you want to take a trip down memory lane now?
I thought I'd give you a little history lesson here on the Dallas Cowboys versus the New England Patriots. The Cowboys have lost the last 5 times they've played the Patriots. 3 of those were in New England. The last time they beat them was 1996. At Texas Stadium, wiped them out 12-6, by the way, if you can believe that. But the last time they beat them, we have to go back to 1987.
Wow.
November 15th, the Cowboys won the game in overtime, 23-17.
Oh, looky here. We've got actual footage of this.
Is Herschel Walker's 60-yard touchdown run on the 4th play of overtime.
Oh, he gone.
And he just smoked everybody. And I found this.
Is he gone?
I found this quote.
Raymond Claiborne almost caught him. Ran out of time.
After the game, Danny White said, he said, all I saw was blue flame. It looked like the ground was smoking. And how about this? The play call was slant 26 Sarah, whatever that means. And Everson Walls was playing in that game for the Dallas Cowboys. That they ended up tying the game on a Roger Ruzick field goal.
Roger Ruzick.
You had to kick it from the the ball was at the 3-yard line, so it was a 20-yard field goal, and 28 seconds left to tie it up. The Patriots were being quarterbacked that day. Steve Grogan was hurt. Anybody want to guess who the quarterback was? Some guy named Tom Ramsey.
Tom Ramsey, yeah.
Yes.
I don't even remember that. And I played in the game.
And you played against him,
down
right?
one of his passes.
Probably did, right? They only scored 17 points. And that was kind of the changing of the guard for the Cowboys at running back because Tony got hurt in that game, a shoulder. He only had 6 carries. Walker went 28 for 173 and 232 total yards in the game. And I think that was the turning point because Herschel took over, and then they traded Tony in the offseason to Denver.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah.
I thought that was extremely unnecessary. You just don't get rid of a guy like Dorsett, especially back then.
But he kind of wanted out, didn't he?
Yeah, but he kind of wanted out because they treated him like crap.
Right.
Yeah, so, that's cause and effect. I mean, that's the reason he wanted out because the treatment of him, they brought Herschel in the first place. That was almost like a slap in the face to Dorsett.
Right.
He had always had I guess we all had rocky relationships with the organization itself. But, they saw that they thought he was over the hill. And if I recall, he goes to Denver and gets 1,000 yards. Dorsett, he goes to Denver and has 1,000 yards.
It was close. I think we just did something on him.
It wasn't 1,000.
Was it 1,000?
This is
I thought it was 800.
Post-knee surgery.
Yeah.
And almost all of his runs were inside between the tackles. So it just let you know. To me, I thought that was his best year because it showed something that at that age, and I'm pretty sure he was over 30-plus years old.
Oh, yeah.
He was able to make a change in his
style
game.
Yeah.
And it was effective for him. Denver they were so proud of the year that he had for the Broncos that year. I was proud of him too.
You'll laugh about this. So in '88, the Times Herald sent me to Denver to do a story on Tony Dorsett before the season started, and they were treating him like a god.
Yes,
there.
they were.
The advertisement, they wanted him to write a diary. He was doing all these promotions. As a matter of fact, a automobile dealership did a contest, and you had to guess how many carries he needed to get to pass Jim Brown to go second all time, rushing behind Walter Payton, and he did it like the fourth or fifth game. And if people keep an eye on it, we've done a legend show on it. And he moved into second place and ended up running out of bounds. And they were supposed to stop the game, give him a ball or whatever. All he did was return back to the huddle. Nothing. There
That's
was nothing,
old school.
Nothing
That's
made
old
of
school.
it, right? Yeah.
As opposed to Drew Brees, when he gets his yard, we had to have a homecoming celebration.
The family
the family came out. A podium, I believe, was rolled out on the field.
Right.
Balloons.
That's right.
Give me a
That's
break,
right.
man. Okay? I mean,
Monday
that's why
Night
I sound like this
Football.
old curmudgeon, get off my lawn. You know what I'm saying?
So the funny thing is, when
And it was like a Super Bowl celebration because Joe Tessitore was calling it in the booth for Monday Night
you're
Football.
right. So when
my old intern,
I had the interview
It's not my
set up
guy.
with Dorsett after practice, and all of a sudden he comes out late. Imagine that, right? And he goes, I got to go to the airport. I go, you got to go to the airport? He goes, yeah. He goes, I got to go pick up Ron Springs at the airport.
Wow.
And I said, okay. He goes, yeah, and I don't think I'm coming back. He goes, but if you want, you could ride with me, and we could talk in the car while I'm driving.
Be careful. He's going to Dorset and Ron together with you, man. That's scary stuff, bro.
But here's the bottom line. So I said, okay, that sounds good, right? So we jump in the car, and I look around, and it's a two-seater. And he goes, yeah, I can take you there, but I can't bring you back.
What kind of sense is that?
But we had a great interview.
Yeah.
And he was driving like he was running, by the way.
Right.
In and out and on the shoulder.
That's because
He
you
only
get
saw
that great
colors, yeah.
vision.
Yeah.
You see a crease, he's going to hit it. Yeah.
And then we got to the airport, and Ron was on the curb, and he gets in, and I get out, and I found a taxi.
Wow.
It wasn't that far back.
It's funny. I do remember Tony talking about in interviews about his vision, and he would practice his vision. He said that he would practice
with me in the
traffic.
passenger seat.
I remember specifically
How
interviewing
dangerous
him
is that, man?
maybe in training camp back in the 80s, whatever. And he'd say, yeah, I practice my vision when I'm driving down the highway.
So he must have a vet.
Yeah. So, and guess what else I found? I forgot to hold this up. Here was my sidebar on Herschel's run against the Patriots.
Blue Flame.
Wow.
You know, my best friend threw that block. Thornton Chandler always brags about throwing that block on that linebacker. And as I was looking at it, boy, he blocked that guy all the way to the sideline. So yeah, we had a lot of fun in that game. I was a cheerleader that game.
Oh, were you?
When we got to the
Cheerleader.
I was, man. For some reason, it just so many things happened. Of course, it ended with Herschel. I'm over there dapping down all the Cowboy fans in the end zone.
And then you got out of there.
Yeah, it got a little
Yeah.
dangerous. They started hitting me on the head. They started hitting me back. So I ended up watching Mike Renfro. It was a 4th and 12, if I'm not mistaken. And I know you guys might have
13.
4th and
That's
13.
very good.
Thank you, sir.
From
I'm
the
telling
30.
you. And Mike Renfro was going against Lepet, number 42. And for some reason, the defensive back, it's 4th down. Okay? He bites on a 10-yard move. It's 4th and 13. He bites on a 10-yard move. And Renfro put him to sleep. And all I remember was the ball. I was standing on the sideline, and the ball, Danny threw the ball down the sidelines because Fro was open, and it was coming right at me. And I was like, wow, that's such a pretty pass. and I look up, and then here comes Renfro, the slowest white dude when I say slow and white, that means that he's really slow. And so he's coming down, and he's looking like a gazelle. And here comes the ball. Here he is. And it was beautiful. He caught it right next to me. And he slid out of bounds, and I remember waving my towel like I was Mel Carr. You know what I mean? I'm waving like I'm with the Boston Celtics.
Mel Carr.
And man, I was so happy they called me out on the film because I had never been that emotional during the game. I don't know why I wanted to beat the Patriots so bad. I guess I hate their fans. Those guys, they scare me sometimes.
It was a 43-yard completion.
Beautiful. Just one of the prettiest passes Danny White has ever thrown, including the Drew Pearson pass in San Francisco.
Right.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
So 32 years ago was the last time the Cowboys beat the Patriots.
It's almost
in New England.
In New
Or
England. And they don't play all that
exactly.
often.
No.
But
That's
still.
the other thing. Brady hasn't played here, but once.
He played once, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's been like
07.
It's at Texas Stadium. Yeah, it was 07.
Both
I remember
teams,
that
I think,
game.
were undefeated at the time, and Pats kind of handed it to them. But yeah, and in 11, I think the last time we were there, to cover that game. Cowboys had that game
They
won.
sure did.
And
They sure
Brady,
did.
we were on the sideline. Brady diced him up down the field with Welker.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No matter how much you hold them down, the great ones, the Rodgers, the Bradys, they're the ones that they find it in them, because right now I'm in situational ball. And this is really where I thrive. Kind of like Dak a little bit, to where when he gets in that 2 minute, you don't know what's going to happen when he gets in red zone. But you know that he's going to get you down the field and give you a chance. And that's Brady the whole time, his whole career.
And that game up there was in the old stadium, Foxborough Stadium.
I got a Foxborough story for you.
Well, let's have
Rookie year. I'm not even starting yet. And we're going to the stadium. They got the one road in, one road out.
Yes.
The fans held us up. We were late for Monday night game. We were. Pickup truck guys. Some pickup truck guys. I'm a rookie, man. I'm still 21 years old. I'm like, I heard of Boston as a black man. I'm like, oh, man. I never took my helmet off during the entire game. So on the way there, they see Tom Landry. They know it's our bus. He's sitting right there, freaking hat on. We're riding in. They see us. They start yelling. They start holding us up. And then as soon as the chaperone, the cops, the escorts would get off their bikes to say, hey, guys, what's going on? They pull off. And we get back on our bikes, and we get in the bus. We pull up. They stop again. We did this the entire way into the game. We were late for Monday Night Football because of the fans at Foxborough Stadium.
And that stadium wasn't very big, as I remember.
No.
It was like a good 1AA football
It looked like
stadium.
the Yale Bowl, like if you were at Yale or something like
Yeah.
that. About as big as a Yale Bowl out there at Yale.
Yeah, it was a ways.
We kicked their butts, by the way. Dorsett had like 100+, and Claiborne was chasing him to the end zone as well. So.
Which is the funny thing, because if you look, and Bill's got it right there, how many times in a row did the Cowboys beat them before the
1,
Patriots?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
First 7 times they played them?
Yep.
We
And
lost
how many
to them
times
on
has New
Thanksgiving
England
Day,
won?
I recall. Right? We lost to them on Thanksgiving Day, Texas Stadium.
Would have been in
Like around
84.
Mm-hmm. Craig James, of all people.
No, wait a second. 84 was, I'm not sure if it was Thanksgiving, November 22nd. 84, Dallas won. November 15th. So it would have been.
Week before?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Because Dallas won that game.
Yeah, Craig James beat us one game. I was so mad. He was my neighbor.
Was he really?
Yeah, he lived right behind me. Yeah.
So the Cowboys won the first 7 meetings, and New England has won the 5 meetings since then.
Yep.
Okay. That thing brings us to Sunday, another trip up to the Northeast. And we continue on Talking Cowboys in a moment.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys, and your favorite football team. Get yours today in the Stadium Pro Shop or at Stetson.com.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheer.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score September 2019.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
So, you're shopping, and that's when you see it. Aisle 23. Dr. Pepper stacked from top to bottom as far as the eye can see. The phrase too good to be true comes to mind, yet there it is. A rich, delicious Dr. Pepper paradise. Wait, did that can of Dr. Pepper just open itself for you? They all are. As if to say, so nice to treat you. And even though it feels weird to talk to a can, you pick one up and say, it's so nice to be treated. Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Mickey is ill prepared for his read. He's been sitting here talking.
He's admiring his clip from 32 years ago.
But if you go to Jack Black, you can grab them while you can. Limited qualities, limited time. You can get the Pit Boss Duo. You get the antiperspirant deodorant along with the maximum sweat
security
control.
Oh.
Yeah, it's time for you to get committed.
All over wipes. Excuse me. I wasn't prepared. You can shop now by going to...
You want a mulligan? You want to try again?
GetJackBlack.com.
That's the worst read you've ever had. You never just stopped before.
Well, see, here's what happened. When I printed it out, it printed it like it broke it up. So don't forget the Pit Boss Duo.
You've lost your energy on this read.
Were we continuing the same promo? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
That was totally different.
He thought we moved on to something else.
Another promo.
We're done.
Okay.
My goodness.
Right. We'll see.
Yes,
Tune in
we
again
are.
tomorrow to see if Mickey still does the reads for Jack Black.
They love me.
I can understand why. Yep. It's the highlight
Look at
of
the
our...
attention they get.
The bar is pretty
that's
low,
right.
I guess.
So next time we're going to have to include Everson on the Christmas gift list.
If they love you, dude, they gotta love me.
Right?
I'm pretty sure I get better than that.
All right, you look at this New England Patriot, the matchup against the Patriots. Let's turn it over to offense versus defense. Number one defense in the National Football League. What do the Cowboys need to do offensively?
Well, I was going to ask Everson if he had ever seen Belichick in your days with him or Parcells play defense the way they are with all these linebackers around the line of scrimmage and really only two down defensive linemen most of the time. And I saw a lot of times on nickel, it was one down defensive lineman, and he's got linebackers all scattered around like it's a fire drill.
Or they're blitzing.
Yeah, it's very, very familiar. Of course, it reminds me of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 25, we're going against Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas, and they were going no huddle. So it's almost like when Rodgers tries to catch you with the personnel that you want. Well, we were stuck with a particular personnel that we were going to live with. It was just like with what Vikings did to the Cowboys, just the opposite. We wanted to make we wanted to make Thurman Thomas beat us because Jim Kelly was such a quick striker. So we didn't want that game to get out of hand. What we're going to do, we're going to play all pass. We had one nose guard in the game pretty much the entire time unless it was short yardage. So, yeah, Belichick is always – he's always had this thing for this personnel. He's always wanted to do it. And Super Bowl 25 was his first opportunity to use that particular personnel and that particular idea about how to play defense in this particular game, who we're going to target. So, it's no telling what you might see from Belichick because in 1990, we were the number one defense in the league, and we changed everything for the Super Bowl.
Really?
Everything. We were the number one defense in the NFL, and when it came to playing against the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl, biggest game of the year, we changed everything. And that's one of the few times where you catch a coach who's amazing at what he does and chose to change his entire philosophy for one team and be successful at doing it. And now that's pretty much his staple. He likes to play with a bunch of linebackers. That's his thing. Athletic linebackers.
Hybrid guys.
We had Pepper, we had Carl Banks, we had Lawrence Taylor, Gary Reason, and I know I'm saying this sounds weird, Steve Diassi. Rangy Steve Diassi built like an icebox, But what he was good at was we were big. They were big, so they would close that bubble. You saw how Minnesota was getting those offensive linemen. They were attacking Smith down the field, Van Der Esch. They were cutting them at their feet. Pepper and Diassi would close that bubble, and they would hit them as if they were defensive linemen with a 2-yard start. And that bubble was closed. That's why we were so good and effective against the run.
I mean, the linebackers they got now, Van Noy, Collins, Hightower, they can rush. They've got a lot of sacks combined. They can cover, and you see a lot of these basically cover zero because they got so much faith in their secondary. I mean, they got Pro Bowl guys in the secondary it's really unique, but it's really effective.
You know, look at their front seven and compare it to any other team in the league as far as the number of players that they have in their front seven. It's a very limited number. I mean, I've got their front seven. These are defensive linemen and linebackers. I count 13 guys for 7 positions on the team. The Cowboys have like 17 front seven guys.
It's a big reason why Michael Bennett's here, because they didn't really have a spot for him as much as these linebackers.
Because those are hybrid guys, and you mentioned Hightower, Van Noy, John Simon's another one, Jamie Collins, who can rush or they can play in coverage. And what it does, it then creates the roster positions where they can keep 4 guys that are basically just special teams guys. Matthew Slater and Justin Bethel they just picked up, who's one of the top special teams guys in the league. And so it's amazing. We'll get into this later in the week. The way they have put their roster together and how Belichick and that organization has figured out how to maximize their resources in a salary cap era in the NFL.
And still be strong in all facets of the game. All 3 facets of the game. That's what's important.
And you know what? In the way they play it, me with my pea brain, they'd suck me probably right into it, but it looks like you should run the ball against them. You got these 250-pound guys lining up on the line of scrimmage. I got 320-pound offensive tackles. Let's go hit their skinny butts, right? But somehow
same thing,
Philadelphia
make you laugh,
didn't.
make you cry.
Right?
You might be big and you want to hit these little guys, but they're quick.
But they do have
They're
one big
extremely
guy
quick.
in there named Danny Shelton, who's goes about 340.
Yep.
And
you know what?
he's a monster.
But
in the
watching
middle.
Philadelphia, it almost, I know those guys are talented, but it also looked like they were just confused on who to block. These guys were coming from all different
And that's
places.
the difference. That's the difference. Yeah, you can line them up, but can you catch them? You're big, but can you catch that little guy?
Right.
Yeah, they know exactly where they're going to be.
Yeah, and they've got, and as Jason said in his press conference today, they've got every gap covered. It's confusing to the offense,
But once that
they know
ball
what
is
they're
snapped,
doing.
every gap is
and that's the other thing that they do is just like back in the day when Bill Belichick had Everson Walls, and then he made sure that he had Everson Walls when he became a head coach with the Cleveland Browns. They've got guys that are smart who and that's how
They think like Belichick.
Yeah.
Now let's not go too far.
Hey, man, come on. I'm a Belichick guy, dude. Not this week now. Not this week. Not this week.
All right. Well, the break guys are waiting out there to come in here. So
we can take their minutes too.
I guess we're done with this edition of Talking Cowboys. There's going to be more talk time for you tomorrow, Everson. I'm not going to be in here.
ready,
so it'll be Rob, Mickey, and Everson tomorrow on
That's
Talking
it? No
Cowboys.
you?
I've got TV responsibility tomorrow.
Every Thursday we got
can't have Mick.
We might have Lindsay
We got it.
in here.
Oh, okay.
Please
Maybe
bring
Lindsay
some.
too.
I don't want
All
Mick
right.
taking over.
All
I
right.
just don't want to
All right. The break is next, and some of us will talk at you tomorrow on Talking Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?